Another beautiful morning to talk sports, and you're welcome to Dominion Television, your channel of choice. This is Dominion Sport, where we talk all things sport on the go. This wonderful morning, we have so much to talk about from the local front, the Rangers international game with Benden Insurance, the referee situation. We'll be discussing that on the show this wonderful morning. In the world of basketball, it's sad news, and also, wins for some teams when it comes to the series. Victor Wembanyama is making the rounds in the world of basketball this wonderful morning. In the world of tennis, Nurdin Alimi will be giving us an update, back-to-back actions on the ATP Rome and also WTA Rome. Coco Golf, Yannick Sinner, and more still making the headlines when it comes to the world of tennis this wonderful morning. Cristiano Ronaldo needs one more game to finally seal the Saudi Pro League title this season. Is it possible? But Bento has so much questions to be asked from the decks of the top-notch analyst this wonderful morning. Also in the world of athletics, we have so much action. Toby Amuson, the caller Amuson Express, is making the rounds in the world of athletics this wonderful morning. All this and more, not forgetting Manchester City would need to clinch a victory against Crystal Palace tonight. Ademola Lookman getting on the score sheet from the Penalty Sport this wonderful morning. All this and more on the show just for you. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi, and I'm not alone in the studio this wonderful morning. I have the top-notch analyst with me. I'm going to start off with Sanudin Alimi, and I'm sure he's wondering, ready paparazzi, where did we miss it for Cristiano Ronaldo yesterday? I have the Queen of Sports ready with the books open to dissect what we have in the world of sports this wonderful morning. Let me start off with the man of the moment, and I'm wondering, where did we go wrong yesterday with Cristiano Ronaldo? Top of the morning to you, my brother.
Good morning, Toluwanimi. Good morning, Mabuba. Good morning, viewers. It's nice to be back here. You've read it all in your intro. Basketball, football, athletics, world of sport is given at the moment, and you asked me where it went wrong for Al Nassr and Cristiano Ronaldo in the Riyadh derby yesterday, and I would say it's between the experienced Martinez and the goalkeeper Bento, an uncontested throw-in from Al Hilal, and everything went down the roof, and you could see the emotions and all around the stadium yesterday. They will be hoping to get the maximum points in their next game and clinch the victory that's led them since 2019. Good one for them that they avoided at least a defeat. They will look forward to that, and imagine what would have been if they hadn't scored that goal earlier in the game. Maybe we'll be saying a different story right now, but they still have their destiny in their hands. They could have clinched it yesterday, but they have one more chance later over the weekend. All
right, thank you so much. When you say the Queen of Sports, making the hands G3, trust me, he had so much to give us this wonderful morning. The Queen of Sports, how are you feeling this morning? You look excited, and what's happening?
Thank you very much for that, Toluwanimi. I do feel like, as I mentioned, because it's more or less, it's a new day, and a new day to talk a different kind of sports. Over time, since my time on this show, it's always been me giving you updates on everything football. But today I come here with something different. There's also football, there's athletics, but this time around, I'll also be sharing my thoughts and from the world of the NBA basketball. If you're with us back on Friday, we're giving you some updates and maybe some explanations on what the NBA is all about. But today, we come to you with a variety of news from the front of the NBA. And one thing I have here is the encounter that took place in the early hours of today between Spurs and Timberwolves. And I can tell you that for the fifth game which went down in the early hours of today, Spurs have finally extended their lead to 3 after a 126 to 97 points. And the star of the game is no other person but Victor Wembanyama. He got 27 points in total, and with a total of 17 rebounds and 5 assists. And I must tell you that this is not the first time Victor Wembanyama has been in the news. Based on the stat that we have, it seems to be the next big thing in the NBA right now. And he also broke a record, just so you know, in the early hours of this morning. He delivered 2 3-pointers. That is the first time any NBA athlete has done so since the 1979-1980 season when the 3-pointer rule was introduced. And besides Victor Wembanyama, we also have sad news. Apparently, an athlete, Memphis Grizel, or Memphis the girl forward Brendan Clark, was announced dead in the early hours of yesterday. But however, the news or the cause of his death has not been confirmed, but the results say that it's likely believe that he died due to an overdose, but then we are still waiting for the autopsy to actually give us the primary cause of his death. And beyond that, we also have news from the National Front of Nigeria, from the D Tigers. We now have a new coach for the national team, and then we also have an athlete from the NBA who is putting himself forward to be a member of the D Tigers, and he goes by the name Onyeka Okongwu. And the news says that the major reason as to why he is yet to join the D Tigers is probably due to some delay or the late request from the D Tigers for him to join the team. And this is not the first time of him expressing his interest to join the D Tigers. But we hope that by the time the international break comes around in July, we might have him as a member of the D Tigers team. So, Toluwanimi, the mic to you now.
What a way to go. What an introduction. Trust me, I'm sure we're excited to get down to what's going to happen in the world of sports this wonderful morning. Wow. That was loaded. All right, let me give you an update quickly from the local front this wonderful morning. Thank you so much, the Queen of Sport, for the updated world of basketball. I'm sure Sanuruddin, honestly, I was wondering.
I was wild. I just had to.
I've learned quite a lot from
maybe he explains the black she's wearing. She's wearing the.
What do you?
Maybe.
Perhaps, maybe.
Let's get straight to action. Let's talk about the local story. Yesterday, on Monday, as Sanuruddin, we're talking about the situation with Rangers International and Bendel. We didn't really get so much information, but I saw the buzz, on Monday, where I saw that some people were complaining about the incident. Let me bring to your knowledge that the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF Refereeing Development Committee has suspended, referee Yakubu Adamu indefinitely from all league and football-related activities following his performance in the Nigerian Premier Football League clash between Rangers and Bendel Insurance. Let me inform you that according to the committee, the sanction takes immediate effect after the referee awarded a penalty during the match, which was deemed inconsistent with the provisions of the laws of the game. The controversial decision had led to a goal and was said to have significantly influenced the outcome of the encounter. The committee further stated that the referee action brought the game into disrepute and also prompting measures against the match officials. That's the update we got yesterday and the early hours of this morning, which you can have a video played where we saw the decision, and this is the case we are solving this wonderful morning.
I'm so sad, but this is Nigerian football. The referee has been sanctioned, but the goal, which looks like it's going to settle the MPFL this season, is in question. And is that going to be overturned in the results? That's another question entirely. So this is what we need to look into. We've complained about officiating times and time over again in the MPFL, and this should not be coming at the fore. We spoke about inconsistencies on Monday in the European front. Now it's right there at home. The MPFL, the referee associations, they need to take strict sanctions this time around. Just suspending him alone is not good for me. What has happened to Bendel Insurance, who might have gotten a bump on the table for them, and for Rivers United, who will feel undone now by that victory, Rangers International got via that penalty, we'll be saying, what's going on, who's going to help us out? And it's just sad moments for Rivers United. Good one for the referee associations to come out and say we have sanctioned this guy. It's bringing bad image to our sport, so our association. We don't want this again in our sport, and let's see what happens in the coming days and when they shed more light on this.
All right, let me ask you quickly, the Queen of Sport, for you, that decision has given Rangers all 3 points. I know we have that video, so I wish we could play it so that we could see the incident, going on in that scene. But for you, these are the issues we have. We talk about consistency every time, even in senior climbs. But right now, this situation we have, with our league body.
Well, it's not the first time whereby we're having cases of inconsistency in the NPFL or issues with the referee. And as Nuruddin has emphasized on, it's a good thing that the referee himself has been sanctioned, but we don't know if that itself is going to impact the results of the game. And somehow, I'm actually going to be flabbergasted if the result in itself is overturned, because we know the rule of IFAB. It says that once the referee blows the final whistle, whatever happens on the field of play stays on the field of play. So if the NPFL decides that they want to overturn the result already concluded. No, it's a breach of the number one rule that's governing the entirety of football.
Now we are bringing what stays on the referee blows on the final whistle. And I remember going on the side of Morocco saying they deserve the victory because Senegal worked away. So I don't want us to stretch that. Yes, we'll go back to the rule books now and say what has happened. I like that, and I'll stick to that. And I hope CAS deliver their verdict as early as possible on the Morocco-Senegal case. And
but what about the NPFL? If they decide to overturn the result, that would be a breach of the number one, the apex rule of football.
But actually, there are no reports suggesting that the NPFL board.
No, they didn't say anything about it post game. It won't come back to the news if the referee has not been sanctioned and suspended.
So are you saying you want them to overturn the result?
No, I am not. I'm not saying that.
But you want them to overturn Senegal's result?
Okay. Well, you know what? The thing is that Morocco did deserve to win. They earned the win. Senegal were the one who breached the rule. And if you breached the rule, you should be punished, definitely. Okay. So we are just waiting for the ruling.
Yeah,
we don't know
we'll get the ruling. We'll get
But one thing I'm going to take away from this now is if the referee blows the whistle and says something has happened in the game, the game is over. You don't have to go back and overturn the result, right?
Okay,
yes.
Great.
All right.
Great. Okay. All right, let's talk athletics quickly, where Nigerian athletes made a bright start to their respective campaigns at the 2026 CAS African Senior Athletics Championship in Ghana, qualifying for the next round of their track and field event. World record holder Tobi Amusan is into the final of the women's 100 meter hurdles after opening a season with a time of 12.82 seconds in the heat. It was her first hurdle race of the season. Amusan was joined by the final by Janet Sunday, who made a debut at the African Championship and finished second in her heat, which was won by Ghanaian record holder Evan Brinton. There was drama in the men's 100 meters as Favour Ashi was initially disqualified before eventually progressing into the semi-finals. Favour was first disqualified for a false start, but was later reinstated after Nigerians lodged an appeal. He then clocked at 10.55 seconds, placing 24th overall to qualify for the Wednesday's men's 100-meter semi-final. Also, let me inform you that in the women's 100-meter, Rosemary Chukwuma led Nigeria's charge, comfortably booking a place in the semi-final with a time of 11 points for the 4 seconds in heat 2, while Mary Eze Chukwu also qualified after winning her heat, while Tejeri Ugo finished third in her heat to secure qualification. Nathaniel timed his race well in the men's 400-meter, edging ahead of the finish line to beat Uganda Kenneth and Kenya Malongo to finish that race. Adeyemi finished third in the 400-meter heat, also qualifying for the next round. I think we have our athletes making progress when it comes to the championship right here in Ghana.
Well, as you mentioned, it's a good thing that we're seeing, such formidable and positive results from our athletes over there in Ghana. And I'll always say, and despite the fact that football has been the major sport, it's good that we're beginning to see, we're beginning to acknowledge athletes and beginning to give athletics much more focus. So it's great to see that Tobi Amusan, the world record holder, is now on her way to the final, same as Janet. And it's also lovely to see some young and up-and-coming athletes like Miracle Eze Chukwu and Rosemary Chukwuma right there representing Nigeria at the national level. These girls are more or less secondary school students who are yet to even step foot into tertiary education. So it's great to see that despite the fact that these ladies are young, we're not only seeing them dominate in Nigeria as they did at the CAA under-20 or under-18 Athletic Championship back in July last year, but also seeing them representing Nigerian scholars over there in Accra. We're looking forward to seeing them dominate at an international level, such as like the World Championship or the Olympics. So it's great news. It's great results moving forward, and we're definitely hoping that when they get to the final, we're hoping that they're going to secure the medals as we want, not just for themselves, but also for the entirety of Nigerian athletics in general.
All right, this is Tobi Amusan speaking, and I'm sure Sanuruddin would have more to say. According to the report, we just read out, some of our athletes are doing quite good when it comes to this competition.
Yes, very well. This is what we want to hear from them. They had a successful outing last month, late last month in the international meet they went to. Now coming back and backing that up with the performance they're giving right now. But my own problem now is, Mabuba spoke about having the spotlight for younger ones. And for the love of me, the junior championship is going up in Asaba, and there's no news coverage about that. The 36 states of the federation are competing in that competition, and
nobody's talking about it.
The contingent from Oyo State traveled on Saturday, and there was no news, there was no notification to the press about how they are going to move. We've not heard of the medal tables, and this is where we want to pick junior stars that would translated to the national side that will represent us in international tourneys. We've spoken about, yes, we're having aging players, we need more players, but this competitions like this, meets like this, junior championship is very important to the progress of the Athletics Federation in general. So I hope next time or by the end of the competition there will be changes to that. There will be more light shed on the performances of those aspirants. But congratulations to our athletes who have booked their place in the final of the competition going on in Accra, and good luck to them in their endeavors to earn the biggest medal for the Nigerian contingent.
All right, great. That's the update coming through from Ghana, giving you the championship result. We'll be back here to give you more on that update, definitely, and we hope that we should be able to also get report from Asaba for the junior, championship competition going on right there. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about cycling, as Nigeria have claimed a total of 16 medals at the 2026 Confederation of African Cycling Para Track and Track African Championship in Abuja. The championship staged at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium Velodrome brought together elite cyclists from across the continent, including Egypt, Kenya, South Africa, Algeria, and host Nigeria. After 2 days of the competition, Nigeria lead the medal table with 9 gold, 5 silver, 2 bronze medals, placing them ahead of several African traditional cycling powerhouse. Let me inform you that Egypt sits second place with 14 medals, while Kenya occupied third with 9. The strong performance from Nigeria contingent have been greeted with more love from the home supporters at the venue, with riders impressing with speed, endurance, and technical execution throughout the event. Mabuba, these are the things we want to see. A cyclist, cycling competition. We're excited to see how we are doing right here in Nigeria.
It's fascinating to see that we are seeing Nigerian athletes dominated in traditional sporting events that we are not so accustomed to here in Nigeria, because we know that despite the fact that there's so much spotlight on football, on athletics, it's great to see that we are also dominating ahead of other top countries in a sport as cycling here in Nigeria. And I think I'm going to draw back to what Nordin mentioned regarding the games in Asaba. This is a tournament that is being held in Abuja right now, but as I mentioned, there isn't sufficient level of publicity or visibility regarding the sport, because even in the games we're participating over there in Accra, we're getting to know about this. But in a competition whereby we're hosting here in Nigeria and we have other African countries come over here to participate with us, we're not getting that much visibility. So I do think that there's still a disparity over there in the way at which we provide much visibility and a higher level of publicity for some sports or all sports all around the Nigerian athlete participating. But all in all, it's great to see the Nigerian athletes are performing exceedingly well in the sport as athletics. And I'm also mentioned that this is not the first time Nigeria is hosting this cycling and para athletes event. We did in 2021 and 2023, and this time we're also hosting against 2026. And the results so far, I think the total of 9 golds, 5 silver, and 2 bronze. It is actually, despite the fact that the tournament itself is not over, we're actually having a higher level of results compared to what we used to have in the earlier years when Nigeria hosted this tournament. Back in 2021, we had a total of 10 medals in total. 2023, we had a total of 15 medals. But now, in 2026, we're hosting this tournament for the 3rd time. We are on 16, and the tournament itself is not even over. But what we are actually hoping to see is it's a positive result for a sport that we don't have lots of, shall I say, contributions into. So it's actually great, and what we are hoping for now is we're hoping to see long-term infrastructure developments for sport, like not just cycling, but also in other sports that don't have a higher level of investment in the Nigerian sports ecosystem. And regarding the para athletes as well, it's a good thing that we're beginning to see Nigeria getting more and more involved in inclusive sports. So we are vying more and giving full support to our athletes over there in Abuja. We wish you all the very best, and we hope that when the end of the tournament comes around, we hope that you'll be there at the top of the podium with the highest number of medals. So wish you all the very best.
All right, great. Sanuruddin, quickly, what next? Because we're having all of this in Nigeria. Can we now go to the bigger stage? Is the question.
Yes, we can do it. Nigerian athletes have shown at the Paralympic stage several times. You see weightlifting for Paralympics, cycling as well.
It's where we get the most medals.
That's where we get the most medals. And every time after the main Olympics, when the Paralympics come, that is when you see the flag of Nigeria fly up on the medal tables. That's happened time and time over again, and this is this is an example, or this is the result of what we've seen over years, and it's translating to our local competition and what's happening on the big stage for us. So yes, we can do better, but like Mabuba has said, we need more infrastructure, and most importantly, we need media inclusiveness in sports. They need to make the criteria to cover such competitions very easy, so that we get more and more sports people at the fore and make them say what's going on in the competition. So yes, your question, we can do better, but we need better infrastructure and better planning to keep these athletes together and get them to do the best of their abilities.
All right, beautiful. Let's move away from that quickly. Still coming to you, Nigeria to host 2026 CAF Awards. Nigeria will host the CAF Awards ceremony and the 48th Ordinary General Assembly of the Confederation of African Football later this year. The Nigerian Football Federation announced this on a Tuesday. Sanuruddin, we are getting this, we are hosting the CAF Awards.
Yes, we are the pride of Africa. This is where it happens.